you doing today? It's been a long time coming, what I have to say. Look at our culture, things are not the same. Let's not sit down and do nothing while it goes down the drain. Please help me. Let's not for the masqueraders, the musician and mass makers. On the way, hey. Look around, the hearts are dying. We must prevent this from happening. Start today. Fight for your culture, work for your culture, enjoy your culture. Get up, worship your culture, learn from your culture, stay with your culture forever. When it comes to eating, I just feel so shame. All these European dishes, I just can't explain. What happened to fungi, dumpling and Johnny cake? Yam dashing and sweet potato, cassava and plantain. Help me. Callaloo fried fish tukuna. Wash it down with some brown soda or some lemonade. Sorrel, sour, sap, passion fruit. Salted boiled fish and red bean soup. Fruit and guava berry. Fight for your culture, work for your culture, enjoy your culture. Get up, worship your culture, learn from your culture, stay with your culture forever. Where are the monuments of our local heroes? Recognize their contributions to their heritage. Lee Hamilton Jackson, Elmo Plaskett, Doc James, Ralph Nishabe, Henry Rosen, Alexander Moorhead. Continue. David Canigata Sr., Harris Clark and Joe Christopher, and McBain. Valmy Thomas, Emil Griffith, P.G. Gerard, Edward Hendricks, Gracie Julian Jackson. Fight for your culture, work for your culture, enjoy your culture. Get up, worship your culture, learn from your culture, stay with your culture forever and ever. Don't forget our great mass makers, Psycho and Anita Christian, Magnus Holiday, Helen Joseph Floyd Anderson, Susie Ibadi Peterson, Stacia Florence Bailey, Mr. Thomas One Man Man, Sticky Top, Rudy Shelterbrand, Ohalo Williams, Blinky, James Z, Joe Paris, Edward Simmons, Lloyd Graffett, Archie Thomas, King Derby, Wesley Thomas, Lilo, Stanley, Great Chanel, Leona Watson, Miss Harris, Willie White, Beryl Francis, Ethel McIntosh, and many more, too numerous to mention. Brownie, we thank you. Good thing.
Yeah, they're here digging himself out the hole and playing our culture for all to hear. Yes, but I ain't get away, you know. I ain't get away. I got charges against me here. Oh boy, somebody noticed that I've been having these guests in the place and the community camera kind of like Falling behind. Yeah, okay. Well, we're on top of it. We're gonna take care of that. In fact, I might just have to start the show earlier. Come in for 7:30 so that we have that early morning when people on the way to work and they want to know what's going on and do it then. So we can handle the guests coming in. Well, speaking of guests, we got some folks that we got online to come in here. One of which is a group of young people, young entrepreneurs who've decided to pool their various skills to do some very interesting things. So I'm looking forward to getting them in here. Of course, the other day we had the folks for Boomerang Eats in here. Yeah, that was really really great. I really enjoyed having them in here, folks. Boomerang Eats has an app that you can put on your iPhone and Android phone. Yeah, and yeah. And with that, you can order food from a whole bunch of restaurants here and have it delivered. For those of you who work in an environment where going out on the road to get something to eat just ain't cutting it, and getting out to the house early in the morning sometimes to say you're going to put together something for lunch to get out the road is a challenge. Yeah. So for those of you who kind of fit that type of situation or otherwise, you just want something different, yeah, check out Boomerang Eats, boomerangeats.com, and you can get that app on your phone and be able to order from them or order through them, I should say. And folks, it's nice when you have lunchtime and start at 12 o'clock for the food to be there hot and ready to go at 12 o'clock. Okay? And them guys pay attention to detail. Because they had some folks out at DV order pizza and the pizza reached out to DV hot. yes. So you gotta give kudos for that type of action. Talking Sons of the Soil came back home and said, hey, we had enough of the snow up there, go up and visit, it's okay, but I love St. Croix. And they're back here doing that thing. So folks, Boomerang Eats, boomerangeats.com. Yeah, all right, good thing. So we also have a musical group, Bob and Etta, who are coming down here from the States, and they're going to be performing here. Among the places that they're going to be performing, yeah, they're going to be out east end, Great Tree Bay in particular, yeah, out there doing that thing. So it's definitely lots of different entertainment locally and also coming in. And I say that, I want to revisit something, because if you haven't been out to Great Tree Bay for brunch or otherwise cocktails or something, just check out the place, right? It's here on St. Croix for all of us. And one time I was talking about another group that was there performing at Great Tree Bay. And let me tell you folks, we're talking about outside promoters bringing in people. When I say outside of the DV, there are people that live here who bring in entertainment from all over the world, as well as engage local performers also. And so it just so happens that I was talking about it, and somebody kind of took umbrage with it. Peter, because it could have been a lot worse, right? Definitely. Well, yesterday, somebody coming back from the casino. And you know, when you leave the casino, you go up that steep hill and then you come down. It have one last curve there before you reach the long straight. Okay? Just in between two hills, a long straight. Well, somebody coming from the west, coming down that long straight, and they going so fast. And they figure in their mind nobody coming, that they drive like they're driving for Daytona, and you know the centrifugal force forcing them out, so they're coming over into the other lane. And here we have one of our people coming from the casino come around there. All they see is this thing appearing them, and boom. And luckily their instinct kick in, and they swerve off the road. They can't mash up, but they're alive. But you know what? You know the obvious. The person didn't stop. They kept right on going. No. That's two situations I tell you there. The one with me, the one with somebody else. Okay? There are two things going on. One, people speeding and doing stupidness. And the other thing we always have to be aware of, we promoted this place for culture. See, I got a call on line 1. For culture, we promoting it for people to visit and spend their money and everything else. Well, them people there, for the most part, they drive on the right-hand side of the road. Brothers and sisters, when I go to the States and I drive, you know, I do a twist on the song, to the right, you know, and I say that, you know, reminding myself as I go down the road, to the right. No, I could drive on the right, I could drive on the left, but I have to make sure when I leave one jurisdiction and go to the next like that my mind is in the right mindset for making that change. So be extra careful. You got to be someplace, please leave early. Alright? There's a saying, on time is late and early is on time. On time is late and early is on time. So leave early. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to make decisions that later on you're going to say, you know, that was a poor decision. But by then it could be that somebody dead. It could be cars mashed up and, you know, innocent guardrail get taken out and all this other good stuff. Anyhow, on that note, you know, there's youth and their brashness, and then there's age and the wisdom that come with it, right? So I driving down the road with this young man in my road and in my car, and we coming up, and there's this brand new guardrail mashup. So I said to them, I don't know what it is with these young guardrail, you know, they just care, but they want to get up and be crossing the road, all kind of thing, and car coming. See all the old guardrails, and you see they're still there? They're still there because they have the wisdom to know better not to be walking about the place crossing the road. To the guardrail fault. And with that, folks, with that, we're going to segue into something else, but please, be safe out there, all right? Be safe. The life you save may be your own. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to the master class at Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts? You might want to check it out. You got an opening ceremony going on and everything else. And always something interesting and new to see at Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts, and very often something new and different to do. So check it out. And you know, they have this ad here on Facebook that says, Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts needs your seed pods. Well, what they call seed pod is what we call check. And maybe something else that maybe I don't even know. Okay? You know, you see the flamboyant tree them and the check seed pods hanging down from them, dark brown, long, flat. Yeah! So apparently they got some artistic stuff going on down there that they want to collect these things. So if you got a bunch of them in your yard or you got a flamboyant tree nearby and they're dropping them left and right, hey, don't just treat them as trash. Pick them up, put them in a plastic bag and drop them off to Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts. They will put them to good use. Okay? Alright. Good thing. Good thing. So, I see Johnny Damon getting around with his magic these days. I have to get him back here in WSTX and we're streaming some interesting stuff for you. Alright. Now, yeah. All right, jazz. Taking off again. Levels. Today is the 2nd, tomorrow's the 3rd. Yes, I tell you, folks, it starts with Thursday, and you got entertainment at Levels going on tomorrow evening. And jazz and soul here, Crucian Jazz featuring Liz Combi and Dimitri Koopman. All right, good thing. Yep. Live music starts at 8 p.m. and hey, it's no cover. So just go in and enjoy yourself. Have a libation, whether it be water or soda or whatever, libate yourself. All right. And then on the 5th, Sunday the 5th, Jazz Vespers, folks. Jazz Vespers, and Joe gonna be singing and Marvin and them gonna be jamming. Yeah, it's always nice. It's always nice. I gotta go and dig up some of my Jazz Vespers videos and post some of them sets back on Facebook, remind people, because folks, when you listen to Marvin David tonight for jazz, you're gonna get more than music. You're gonna get education and information. You're going to find out about a lot of different folks here from the Virgin Islands who are involved in music that have made an international impact, as well as those who made a local impact only, but they're making an impact. One of the things that we can say with pride is that we can do it good here, all by ourselves, okay? All by ourselves. And in some cases, they want to come and take us away because they like what we're doing. Okay, good thing. But it's like anything else. You got to know what you got, and you got to take care of it. Okay? So, whether it's at Levels tomorrow night, or you're going to Jazz Vespers on the Sunday, hey, it's all good. It's all good. All right. So, yeah. And you said Jazz Vespers, they got a dedicated set of people that go because they just love that music. But what I found out is that a lot of people, including Doug, didn't know. And if you just don't know, how are you going to go? Well, hey, you can't say no that you don't know. All right. Now, Tuesday nights, folks. Tuesday nights. All right. Starting this the 7th, you got Amateur Bowling League going on. All right, Amateur Bowling League. Okay, good morning, may I help? WSTX.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Canton.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
I was calling to play devil's advocate.
Okay, Devil, what are you advocating today?
I hear you talking about drive left and drive right. So I was saying to myself, why does Borderlands have to be the odd ball in the group?
Well,
we're driving left, which is British. Oh, we have American cars.
Yep.
You see that happen anywhere else in the world?
Well, brother, what can I say? What can I say? Okay, we just want to be different.
It's really different, but that's why that accident happen.
Well, I understand that, but
especially when then tourists come down here, they don't understand. They're driving and they're seeing push to the left when they should supposed to be seeing the cars coming instead of push.
Well, I'm going to tell you, right? Old habits are die hard on both sides. And it would take a massive infusion of funds to change that. Okay, I don't see that changing. I don't see it, and if it's gonna change, I don't see it changing anytime soon. Because what they would have to do that, you can't have half the island driving on the left and the other half driving on the right. You know, because
what they could do is instead of bringing American cars, bring the British cars that drive on the right.
no, you want to put Americans out of business. Okay.
No, I mean you're getting the cars out of America still, but they make it a right-hand drive rather than a left-hand drive.
I hear you, but when you look at the business decisions involved in doing that, for them, we are such a small population that it would actually be a burden from a business perspective for them to do that. No, I'm not advocating no change. I'm just telling you the reality of how these people think.
So in other words, they say, I'll go ahead and kill ourselves on these.
Amen. Okay, now I shouldn't say amen. I say I'm talking to the devil. Okay. Yes, but that's basically it. Very often those type of decisions are made, but if it's not enough volume in production for them to realize the type of profit that they want, they just won't do it, even if it's the right thing, the best thing, whatever thing.
No, because I look at it like, okay, you're in a taxi bus, right? You get off a taxi bus. Now, if that taxi bus is driving on the right, you're getting off on the side of the road.
I hear you.
Right? So, you're in a taxi bus driving on the left. The exit door is on the right. So you get knocked in traffic.
In traffic, that's right. That's the reality. That's the reality.
You know, that's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, the day that they're going to undertake that, to do that, they're going to take a massive infusion of funds. They're going to take a time frame. If they say that they're going to do it in a year, let's say we're going to make the conversion in a year. I'm telling you, for a time, we're going to have to import expertise and businesses to make it happen, because we don't have enough manpower to make that whole change across the island like that. Change up markup, cut roads and recut some, and change up stoplights and all of this other stuff. You talking about a rebuild that's almost on par with hurricane recovery. Okay? That's just reality. It's not impossible. It can be done, but it costs something, and who will provide the money?
Well, I remember, I think I was probably a teenager then, and someone made that proposal in the legislature, and it just died right there.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, I can't remember who made that proposal, but, and I can't even ask my pops, because he done gone to the great beyond, so...
Right.
But,
well, you know, I'm just saying it's going to take a lot of money, and the question is where the money going to come from. Because that's what it always comes down to, or up to, or around to, or into, or out to. But hey, it would be a humongous undertaking, and who's going to bear the cost? Okay? That's what it's all about.
yeah, I agree. Well, you know, I was just looking at it, to say, well,
All right.
yeah,
Well,
look at me at Bob.
yeah, all right. Well, let me put you on hold for a minute, and I got someone here online, man. Okay?
Okay.
All right, hold on. Good morning, WSTX.
Yeah, Douglas, how are you?
I'm doing good, but change that R to a E, man. You so into brother R that you calling me R too?
Maybe Douglas R.E.
Okay.
How dare you say to the guy that almost tear off the front of your car that one side of the road is his or yours? You ever seen them driving on 8 and 6 and 4 lane highways? As far as they're concerned, every other driver in every lane is going too slow. So they're going from lane to lane to lane to lane to lane.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about to lane, I'm talking about to lane.
yeah, but this was clearly a situation where they forgot where they were. Okay,
Okay.
they only had 2 lanes going in 2 different directions. They forgot where they were.
He was coming dead at you then.
Yeah, exactly. From a blind car, like this thing just show up. boom. I mean, we just both lucky that as a matter of reflexes.
Well, I tell you, more luckier you are that it good thing you had washed your car that morning. If you had a speck one dot on it, that would have been it.
That would have been it.
Or if you had another coat of paint on it.
Yep. I tell you.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy at all. And now, I'm going to tell you another thing that's happening here, right? And this is where we have to get our regulatory act together. In the States, you can't just put light on your car as you please in a lot of places.
Like Christmas tree.
Right. No, but I'm just saying, it's one thing to adorn your car. It's another thing to make it a safety hazard. Okay? And just like, we have fog lights and driving lights. In some states, if you have on your driving lights or fog lights and the weather is not, you get a ticket.
Of course.
You get a ticket. So now what's happening is that these newer cars have these bright white lights that, and you have people since hurricane don't realize that it got light around the place now, and they shouldn't be driving with high beam when the place is otherwise lighted and you got cars coming toward you, or you're there behind a car. Okay? You should not be driving with high beam, and we got people doing that. Okay?
You know, the designers of these cars, I remember many years ago in a friendly chat with my friend and former governor, Roy Schneider, God rest him, we were talking about cars and this and that, and he said, I spent a lot of time in Sweden where the lights on and they cut day and night. He said, but why do you have it in America? You don't need lights in the day. The sun's shining and these things are designed for the lights to be on all the time. As the designers, I don't know why they do it, but so that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But let me say something quickly about a situation with school. Something came out the other day, and I hope that it's not happening in the Virgin Islands, because I know we scooping up teachers after we done fire them and inject them or not inject them or whatever it is, and now we're looking for teachers all the time. But there's a big scandal across the U.S. of A with the diploma mill for teachers and nurses, where they finding it at the crackdown. A lot of them are not credentialed and not degree, and they just purchase a degree. So it's just a caution, maybe you could keep it and fed them a little more. Don't be too hungry to just grab up. Yeah. Okay.
Well, they should have a vetting process and go through that vetting process. But the reality is that we have these opportunities for fraud, and we have an environment where there's just a sector of people who are just looking for these opportunities, and it's just a matter of who get caught.
You're right, and you say fraud, and just quickly, I mean, the way these things happen, it was several $trillion worth of COVID money handed out during the pandemic, whatever make it was. They find that some 600 billion of it went in the wrong hands. So that guy gone.
Well, yeah, okay, well, you gone, but you're right on spot with that one. Let's see what's going to come out of it. Okay? All right,
okay.
Good talking with you. Be careful out there.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care. Yeah, Jared. It's like one of these things, you follow what's going on in the States, people want to get elected and they want to do everything else other than what the people elect them to do. That only happen in the States. That don't happen here, right? Anyhow, you don't have to answer that one. But anyhow, we had this pandemic and all of these funds, and when you got people that went out and buy Lamborghini and did everything, fire the employees, the same money they get to keep the employees and everything else, And I just hope that at some point in time, our government nationally could get their act together and go after these people, because they're laughing all the way to the bank in that sense, because there's no accountability on that level. We talk about money in America to do things. Some people want to complain about the money going to Ukraine and everything else. Well, that's fine, but I'm just saying, fraud is not an economy, or an economic measuring gauge or something like that for saying that your economy is healthy.
Well,
Fraud saying that your economy ain't working.
exactly.
Yeah.
But here in the Virgin Islands, I look at things like this. Some of these so-called senators that pick on some petty nonsense to bring to the forefront. And I say that to say this. Yesterday I woke up reading the online periodicals where it had an article saying that the former Senate President, Fred Gregory, sent a letter to the governor condemning the fact that the delegate to Congress was speaking at events after her and said that should not be. So you mean that we have so much more pressing things to deal with?
Hello. It's called about getting attention. Okay, because if she sent a letter to the governor and it was a private letter, that's one thing. All right. But if it becomes public, I sure the governor isn't the one sharing it out. All right?
Well,
If you understand where I'm coming from.
yeah.
Okay.
So they pick it up, whoever pick it up.
Yes,
And then,
exactly.
And then the delegate sent a letter answering and showing her the protocol and what happens in the various states and blah, 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 blah. But my thing about the whole deal was we have issues here in the Virgin Islands. And this is what you're going to pick up,
Serious issues.
talk about.
Serious issues.
We have serious issues. This is what you're going to pick up to talk about. And people wonder why people say they need a gold pistol.
Well, I just it's amazing. It's amazing from days of champion things like mental health and actually doing something about it. And those who came along with big amount and nothing happened since. This is, but to see if I don't know, it was last week or whatever. I spent a little time with Robert and them. Okay.
Yeah, I heard you.
Right. And the one thing that Virginians need to understand is that you got folks that are doing a very good job of finding things that get you upset so that you don't really pay attention to the things that are important that should get you upset. Okay? Little things that don't make a big difference, but they got bigger things that make a tremendous difference in your life, and you ain't busy being upset about those things. Now, let me share this with you, right? I went to WAPA about my bill. Okay, my bill jumped $80, right? And the person tell me that they estimated my bill and then they did a reading and they found out that they had underestimated my bill, right? Now follow me. The man them coming to my yard and reading the rest of the year, and my bill is, let's say, $150 plus or minus regularly. Okay, so if you say 150, how the same TV, the same fridge, how it jumped to 230? I watching for the next bill, you know. I watching for the next bill because something.
You didn't go buy an 80-inch or something like that.
No man, it's the same TV. And you know what?
Same TV.
The same TV. And you know what? The joke of it is the same TV that they shut off because most of the time I either walking on my computer or I either sleeping. Okay? Alright? You know, it's one of those things, out in the yard walking in no TV on. But I'm just saying, right? That when you see something like that, you know something is wrong. W-R-O-N-G, wrong. Okay, for you to tell me that somebody come and do an estimation and the estimation and the following reading that was off by, you know, almost 50% or more. Something wrong. I want, you know, I need to have my meter checked because something wrong. Something is very wrong, you know. So anyhow, you know, you can't look at it.
This smart metering is supposed to start about East Avenue.
Hello. Research smart meters and you'll see that smart meters don't exactly have the best history. Okay? They got a rap sheet. Okay? Okay? And like any other electronics. Now,
where you bring this in the territory for that?
let me tell you, right? You know what a tachometer is, right?
Yes.
The thing that tells it the speed of your engine, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, sometimes I'm sitting down there working on my computer. I got my UPSs and everything else to protect. But I have a fan that's plugged directly into the current, right? And 1 minute, the fan, I'm going to use numbers for the sake of just talking, doing 80 RPM. And then I hear it go roop up and it got up to 120 RPM. And then it come back down. The fan can't do that by itself. The electricity, the fluctuation in electricity is what did that. Okay? So I'm saying this to all of you folks out there. You got to have a good surge suppressor. For your refrigerator, there's a surge suppressor that has a built-in delay. So that when WAPA come back on with a big surge, it can knock out your refrigerator or whatever else. Okay? That's the thing that people need to understand. Right. And so I'm saying this because there are a lot of folks that don't know you don't just need a surge suppressor. You need one of those that are having a built-in delay. So that when WAPA comes back on and they come back on with a surge, your refrigerator isn't connected to get knocked out by that surge. Okay?
Yeah, well,
so
this one knocked my thing, burned my thing up on it. I realized my fridge wasn't coming on.
Right.
And power came back. When I put the fridge forward and unplug the thing smelled bright. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Okay.
So what are the dangerous, man?
Well, I'm just saying this as a matter of public information so people can know to protect themselves. Make sure for your refrigerator or anything else sensitive that can be taken out by a surge to get the type of surge suppressor that has a delay in it. Anyhow, I got my celebrity engineer here, or technician. I ain't sure which one she is, you know. Engineer, technician, maybe both. Anyhow, so we're going to have some ads.
Before I go, let me tell you.
You ain't gotta go nowhere. I just tell you that she gonna send us someplace.
Echo is good because I got one in my house.
Uh-huh.
And once it comes from Amazon, so don't change the Echo or nowhere.
Okay. You got Echo in your house. Okay. Amazon Echo. All right. Good thing. That's a good Echo. All right. Okay, folks, we're going to have some ads here for these folks that support us having this community-minded station type of programming. All right, so we'll be back in a minute. Yes, the man. Okay. Hold on a second.
When we're not talking, you'll hear all your favorite songs, including calypso, jazz, love songs, gospel, and those country legends, giving you more music variety. This is AM 970
So what's the plan for the...
WSTX.
Oh, by the way, basketball.
Your home for
It
Ital
was
Food
8
on
o'clock
our
when I
lovely
reached home.
island is aptly named Ital in Paradise. Ital in Paradise is the place you bring your friend
So
to serve
anyhow-
you just
Something like that.
good. Vegan
So that
and
boys
pescatarian
is
food
3
can
and
be
1 now.
located at
They
2220
win 3 and they
Queen
lose
Cross
1.
above Guanmanier. We are open
Central
Monday to
is 4 and
Saturday,
0.
12 to 9 p.m. Call for takeout orders
So-
at
So we up
713-4825.
there.
That's
We up there. If you
713-4825.
had seen where these guys was a year ago to we party there today, I
Attention,
Son,
did
they
you
come a
or
long,
anyone in your
long
household work at
Yeah,
St.
well,
Croix
I
Oil
went to, I
Refinery
think,
for
one or
His
two of
Oil
the games
Virgin
over
Islands
by Dublin.
Corporation,
Oh,
also
okay.
known as HOVIC,
Alright.
at
Did
any
I
time
get,
from
where did I get
1965 to
machine?
1998? You may have been exposed to asbestos. The Annex
They beat
bankruptcy may affect your
Complex,
rights.
they beat
Submit a claim
Good
by
Old
March
Country
17,
Day.
2023 at 5
It's
p.m.
only
Central
Central
Time to be
beat them.
eligible for compensation.
And even there,
Visit
they beat themselves,
stcroixclaims.com
not
or
Central
call
beat them.
855-345-6272.
But you know,
Pay for
you
the
got a
annexing
coach for a
bankruptcy
reason.
estate.
The coach tell you what to do and you go
News
there and do
talk for
something
the
else.
Virgin
Then
Islands.
you take what you get.
AM 970 WSTX.
True that.
Alright. They had,
True that.
we were down to, I think, in the last couple of minutes, and the coach said, no foul. Man then went back and the coach first thing he do, what he do? Make a foul.
Oh, mega ball.
You know, so you got a man make a 3-point shot and get a foul on top of that. That's 4 points. And they, you know, they won, but they should have won, but so much more. But you gotta do what the coach tell you.
Oh.
We got this music going. Let me get back on here. Yeah, folks, we're back. We're back. I didn't get to go to the bistro and get some cappuccino so I could be bouncing off the walls in here. That's why they put carpeting on the wall to make sure I ain't get beat up bumping into no concrete because of the cappuccino having it bouncing all over the walls, right? Okay. Anyhow, so much for all of that good stuff. Yeah, man. So here we are in these small Virgin Islands, right? I mean, it's like we're going to gotta be in a hurry in these small Virgin Islands. Tell me, Jared. You a walkabout? You must know.
Well, you never know. They might have a call of nature. You never know.
Oh, Lordy D.
These things happen, you know?
Okay.
So maybe they have that call, so they're rushing to get home.
Mm-hmm. Anyhow, Disability Rights Center of the Virgin Islands have an ad here on Facebook. And it says the 2023 Black Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program is hosting 3 events in February 10th, 14th, and 24th. All right? Just as a matter of information, so mark your calendars for these 3 opportunities to be inspired by Black entrepreneurs, small business owners, and investors. Yes. Yep. Okay, so this is something where you could register online to attend. Okay, I just saw that there, and I say that. Has anybody been back to St. Croix for the folks for Ticket to Work?
No.
Okay, and
Haven't seen anybody yet, and the number I had to call these people. I know they changed the one guy that I was dealing with when I was working. I said I was supposed to contact this other person, but they never answered the phone.
okay, so
And
that's
of course, the person was in PR.
yes. Okay, and that's what came to my mind, folks. There's this thing called Ticket to Work for and correct me if I'm off base here, but basically it is a federally funded operation that helps to identify persons with disabilities who are willing to and able to work, and where possible to connect them with businesses that would be willing to hire them. And it is run out of Puerto Rico. And the lady gave us a card, a number, and everything else, and they can't reach yet for the interview, much less answer their phone. Okay? Now, and I'm saying that, let the chips fall where they may, ain't got nothing to do with Puerto Rico, got something to do with the people them doing their job, not just collecting a paycheck. Okay? In that context, all right? And I'm saying that if anybody from or in Puerto Rico is offended, you're offended for the wrong reason. The federal dollars are there to help us, and they provide jobs in the process, But don't just take the job, do the right thing, the proper thing, the employment thing, and do the job. Okay?
Well, I'll say one step further. You know, it has been my analysis that for the past 10 years that I've noticed, persons with disabilities is always put on the back burner. You have people in place to assist, but they don't. They just say, well, oh well, you know, later for that, and they'll just collect money. You know, they have people in all different positions, whether they're in like the Ticket to Work program. You know, there are persons where work rehab. You know, different agencies are supposed to assist individuals with disabilities. It makes it so hard, you know, to get simple things done.
Yes.
You know,
And it's even frustrating to those who come into the job and trying to get it done, because sometimes they're in an environment or a culture where it's like the other people who's supposed to assist, it's like, what are you making work for me for? You know? It's a challenge in every regard. But Judd, the reality is that persons with disabilities have always gotten the
shaft?
No, some would say the short end of the stick, but no stick. Not even the short end. Okay?
You know what I mean?
The attitude
even as far as transportation. You know, I told one of the drivers that they need to just change the administration. Get rid of the people that's running it.
Well, I think it's bigger than that. I think it's bigger than that. I think it's bigger than that. You see, because the bottom line is, do your job or be gone.
Yeah.
Do your job or be gone. But that's a top-down. That's a top-down initiative.
Yeah, but and the reason why I say this, right? I don't know if you remember in the 90s when they first began, there was a company called Peter Pan Bus Company. They're still in operations in New York. They were running Bytron services here. And they had everything on lock. They had 4 buses on Center Line Road. They had 2 buses on every route on the outskirts, the one that goes from the Village to the terminal, and from the terminal to Kmart West through Calhoun Road. They had 2 buses running back and forth, so a bus would pass every hour. Then they had a bus that would go from terminal through by Catch and Rest area, all up through Tipperary and all, you know, all the way up there. You know, they had 2 buses going back and forth, so a bus would be every hour passing to connect you to the one of the 4 buses that's on the main road, right? They fire the company and they pull the buses off the road. When they had horse race, when they had them big jam and thing out by the Creamer's Park and so, Byton dropped people up there. When they had the jam by the pool and everything, Byton was providing transportation to get you to the pool and back. Okay, these were the things Byton was doing under Peter Pan. The bus ran up until 11 p.m. at night, Monday, Sunday through Thursday. Friday and Saturday, I think they ran until 1 o'clock. Okay? Now, after 5 o'clock, look if you catch a bus. You understand?
I understand.
I mean, they just crippled. The Byton we see today is a shell of what it used to be.
Well, you know, if they want to do an investigation, they need to go and investigate and bring these things to light and task Public Works on how they're going to restore the service to that level. That's the point.
The thing is, it was just one commissioner that did that. God rest his soul, but it was an Abramson that fired the bus company and started pulling buses off the road under the Snyder Map administration.
Okay.
Ever since that happened, Vitron was crippled.
I understand that, and that may have been a conflict of interest decision also in the process.
I realize that as well.
Right, exactly. But now the thing is, when you realize you made a mistake, you have an opportunity to see how you're going to rectify things, and that's why I don't see us heading in that direction right now. It's marginal to minimal service, and unfortunately, too many people don't know about what you just recited. So for them, it is the norm. They're just glad it got something. You follow me?
Yeah, because if they don't know, they wasn't here.
Well,
they wasn't here at the time. Or too young to remember.
Whatever the reason, this is why I'm telling you, we are having a very serious problem where people either have short memories or they don't have the type of legacy knowledge that you have about these things. All right? And unfortunately, too easily folks get here into the thinking that, hey, why I complaining about nothing going to change? Say what? You see how you see how quick they arrest them 5 officers and things start to happen? Not that everything should have happened. You see how quick they fire them EMTs and whatever? Or whatever they was? But what I'm saying is that they knew if they didn't do something that all heaven was going to break loose. Alright? Well, the fact of the matter is, if them man had know what they know now about Fireburn, if they had know what they know now about emancipation, they would have been doing something different. And not just preparing to oppress people harder. Okay? Because it's inevitable that that's going to reach a point where something got to give.
Right.
Okay? And the problem we have here is that the behavior continues. People talk about it on a talk show. I hope that we're not propagating that behavior because that's unfortunately where it has ended for decades. All right? Now, the fact of the matter is, when a cruise ship come in, try to find a taxi bus. Okay, no, I don't belabor that point. I'm just saying.
I was going to say one thing further than that too. Without even a cruise ship, try to get a taxi bus.
Well, Jared, I understand that, but I know that has changed in particular. That has become more the norm since the pandemic. Okay? I used to take taxi bus too. No problem with taking taxi bus. But I'm just saying that it is at an all-time low in terms of transportation. And there's room for both. There's room for both. The fact of the matter is, if you got these buses running on the hour or whatever, in between the hour, somebody needs to get some place to jump in on the taxi bus.
Right. Right now the bus run on the hour, every hour, because they only have 2 buses. And sometimes they pull one bus off the road because of whatever reason. Not enough drivers or whatever the case is. So then they go to 2 hours, And, my thing is, if you can't manage the system, hire somebody that can. Hire a bus company that will.
Right. Right.
They held a town hall meeting for Vitron riders and stuff the other day, and they asked about how they can make money. They're losing money, how they can get money, blah, blah, blah. I told them, I said, listen, the easiest way for you to get money right now is get a MetroCard system. Have people prepaid for their service. When they use a bus, they swipe the card and take the credits off the card. But the ride have been paid before they even set foot on the bus.
Well, that's, again, the question now is who's listening? Okay, who is listening?
The commissioner, the former commissioner,
that's the former commissioner.
The deputy commissioner. Then the right one was in there.
Well, we have a commissioner now. Okay, so I don't want.
Let me don't get started with him.
Hello.
But anyway.
You see, this is, remember I was talking about emotions getting in the way of action?
I know. But
okay.
No. I've tried to
You-
deal with him, and he's not all that responsive. But anyway, go ahead.
You see, Gerard, you're reinforcing that nothing going to change. But yet you want.
I'm just saying he's not responsive. He was
Gerard,
on another talk show.
Gerard, I'm not contradicting what you said. I'm asking what is the message in what you're saying.
Yeah,
If you know something already, if you know what the problem is already, then how do you get beyond the problem? I don't want them to be mired in the problem.
Beyond
Okay.
the problem is
So,
we need to make a change.
so Gerard, you know how idols operate, okay?
Yes.
As a matter of communication. Okay. So we having this conversation, and we have a new commissioner, okay, and a newly re-elected governor. Then let's do what we need to do the appropriate way and set the example for the community. Because being here in the talk show talking about it sure ain't confronting the commissioner or anybody else in the administration.
Well, I think we need to go straight to the top and don't even worry about commissioner right now. Just deal with.
And see, that's a mistake that a lot of people make. You have to establish your trail going to the top. If everybody go to the governor to deal with everything, you're going to have a long line like they sell an iPhone. Or give him an iPhone. Okay? It cannot work that way. And this is why we have dysfunctional government, because people are resorting to mechanisms that in the long run don't work.
Yeah, but
Okay, if the governor needs to give pink slips, then let him give his pink slips. But
that's what we need to do, because
no,
when
Gerard, you're going back there again. You're going back there again. It's not about what he needs to do. Don't tell the governor what he needs to do in that context, because it might be calling the person in on the carpet that makes a difference in their behavior. Firing just changes the person you're going to be upset about. Okay, up to this point, that's what firing does. Okay, and I don't take any comfort in somebody getting fired. I want to take comfort in something getting done. That is my focus, Gerard. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Emotionally, us people here in the Virginians out there, sort of people pressing our button, getting us upset, but not getting something done. And we got to realize the cycle and break the cycle. All right. So if we need to document the communications to the commissioner and CC on up the chain and demonstrate that this person is not responsive, then let's do that. But right now, we just have a couple of citizens on the phone, on the radio, talking, griping about something. So, Gerard, here you go again. Sometimes to some wait. Sometimes to effect and other times not to effect. Yeah, I know I cut you off. I apologize. Okay, I'm just saying though, because you keep going back to what didn't work in the past. Okay? When we went to Sunny Isle and we had a problem and Sunny Isle was responsive, we did the opposite of everybody saying, don't make no difference to talk to them. Nothing going to change. Right?
They do what they did what they had to do.
Well, why can't we get government to do what they have to do? Exactly. So if you're going to show every instance where nothing changed and ignore the ones where things did, what's the point?
Yeah, but I was about to say, we have a situation where when you come to schedule your pickup at bike fan, they have an individual there that makes you quite uncomfortable.
Gerard,
so,
let
me finish.
Go ahead.
Please, let me finish.
Okay, all right. I'm going to stop being about that. Go ahead and finish.
Let me finish. Even a new individual that just came to the island and started using the bus, she always make the person cry. Okay? The patrons prefer to call a driver's cell phone rather than calling the main office.
Well, you know what?
They do their pickup.
You know what? When you call them, tell them this.
Wait. We have made complaints about this individual. They were a driver before. They pulled them out of the bus. And they put them on the transit bus. They had issues there as well. And they put them in the office and there's more issues. And when you go to the supervisors and stuff, they say, oh, we can't do nothing.
Gerard, let me tell you something, right? Okay. You documented for me what happened by way of conversation. Okay? Is it documented in any other way?
That, I think once it's documented, it was documented via letter, but
okay. All I'm saying is that me, when I run into a situation, I don't turn on my voice recorder and use speakerphone, and I tell them this call is being recorded for quality control, and I'm calling about XYZ, blah 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 blah. So if they want to have an attitude, if they want to do whatever, it's gonna get recorded. You understand? We have to start employing tactics that are gonna get us what we want.
true.
That's it. So if you want to be rude and nasty, and I mean, here it is, the persons with disabilities recognized by the federal government is presenting money to the Virgin Islands to provide service to these persons with disabilities. You get a job and you're going to slap up the people them who get you a job.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for persons with disabilities, you wouldn't have a job.
That's what they don't realize.
Well, let's make them realize. Okay? And folks, I'm saying this now, I'm on the talk show end of the conversation, because Gerard knows that when it comes to documentation, that I have worked with him and others to document, and in some cases we have been successful in making changes. In some cases, commissioners come and commissioners go, and they don't look back and don't care. Okay? All right? But you don't give up, because it works to document in this way. Because the fact of the matter is, the government isn't interested in being embarrassed by people he put in position to do a job. And you may not be there when he called them in on the carpet, but the bottom line is, he don't want to be harassed with that stupidness. I put you there for a reason, do the job. But the key is the documentation. Talking on a talk show does not change anything per se. One time he had a piece of road that was being eroded out, and a car was going to pass over there and the road was going to collapse. And I had a student go out and do a report on it, and recorded it and presented it to Public Works it was done right away. Okay? Because they could see what the problem was, they could see it was documented, and when some accident happened and they find out that the government knew about it and they're going to get sued in the process, hey. Right? So I'm just saying this in the context because I want to make sure that we stay out of commiseration and get into a position of leadership to get things done. We get so frustrated, we get so turned off, whatever, that we don't realize that that's emotions at work, and we have given up, given in, and gone to King's Hill and waiting for the backhoe to come and dig. Okay? All right, hold on. I got somebody here on line one. Okay? All right. Good morning, WSTX.
Good morning, Mr. Tanton. How are you doing today?
Great, fantastic, outstanding, just plain excellent. And yourself?
Well, that's like your pace as a foggy day here in Florida. Hopefully it will warm up. The last couple of days it's been 80 plus and high 70s, so we're having some decent weather. But as I just got up and I didn't hear the whole gist of what you were saying, I just heard the last portion, and you were speaking about the Personnel and Disability Rights Center, and seemed like individuals like myself and Gerard being taken advantage of for some, whatever the purpose is. What I want to, as you say that, the program that the governor instituted, the $500 to Social Security recipients, right? I want to know, why is it when they check with Social Security, the only one that got information for retirees? Social Security that disperse funds to two type of recipients, retirees and disabled individual. So is it, what was the word? When they did that, was that a form of discrimination against Social Security recipients who receive disability because you only decided to disperse monies for retirees?
Well, I'm going to tell you this, right? That all of that happened in the heat of elections, as far as I'm concerned. Okay?
So let me add all of that, because now there's a delay with the $500 to the retirees, the $500 to the disabled community,
right.
The program where if you work during the pandemic, my cousin who worked in the private sector doing construction, still waiting for those funds to be dispersed. My other cousin who had two children under the age of 17
right.
and was
able
to get the check.
I got the gist
that they were getting the $300 for.
Well, I've got the gist of what you're saying.
Where this administration going to decide now to tell the people that, well, to get the balance of your money, your federal allocated funds, well, you go to the Bureau of Internal Revenue and you fill out a tax form, even though this have nothing to do with taxes.
Yeah, I try to respond to
All they're
you.
doing, and I keep telling everybody from the jump, when Governor Bryan had that press conference in May of 2020 when he first get the 87 CARES Act stimulus money, and his first thing to the people of the board is that I don't want to disperse all of this emergency stimulus money to help stimulate my local economy because the whole planet is shut down because of the pandemic. I don't want to send all this money right away because I don't want my COVID numbers going up. At the same time, the banks are following CDC protocol. You have to wear proper protective equipment and you stand 6 feet apart, and only a certain amount of individuals are allowed into the bank facility at one time. So explain to me how 3 years later we still dispersing money that's supposed to be emergency. So I want to know, what is the definition of emergency? If somebody gets shot, somebody gets a heart attack, if the ambulance reaches for them 2 years later, is that still an emergency? Hello?
Yeah, I got it right here. But every time I try to say anything, it's like you going on and on and on. So I defer into you. No. Okay. Well, right. No, what I'm saying, Devin, you gotta realize you got a lot of information And if you shove it all out so fast, whatever, but, you're going to lose people. I understand what you're saying, but all I'm saying is that somebody came up with a plan. And clearly it was a flawed plan. Okay? That's it. It was a flawed.
The money for the Social Security recipients.
That in particular, that was a flawed plan. Okay?
Correct.
And once the train come off the track, then you have all these resources that got to be put into getting it back on the track, and which is more money being wasted in the process or energy or whatever the case may be. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just a running debacle. Okay, that's all it is. It's a running debacle. And you have things that were successful, you have things that weren't successful, you have things that were poorly implemented so that they brought in other problems while, making some people happy. And I think that's kind of like where we are with that. Now, the question is, what is the plan in terms of making sure that not only is the train back on the track, but that we get to the next stop on time? Okay, what is the plan? And the thing is, as a talk show, we exchange ideas and information for those who happen to be listening at the moment. But then, if you don't have a little think tank group that takes this information and turns it into some written communication, documented, return receipt requested to the appropriate people so that you could hold their feet to the fire, because the commissioner could say, or commissioner of whatever, which, by the way, it wasn't disability rights so much we were talking about. Disability rights we mentioned because they had they were telling us about a program for entrepreneurs and so forth and so on that we could get expertise from. No, so it's not. We weren't. It wasn't anything critical of that. But what I'm saying is we keep going through these motions of venting, expressing ourselves, and Gerald would be the first one to tell you that my approach to these things is document, communicate, and document the communication and put them in a position. You want to look bad? If that's the worst that's going to happen, it won't look bad. If more could happen than look bad all the way to something getting done, we're going to do something different other than just talk about it. And so now the issue with Social Security is remaining in the news. It's going on. It's a thorn in their side, and hopefully it will make enough pain, don't get infected, and I want to get done. That they're going to say, let me just get this thorn out my side and just get this thing done right and over with. Okay? Because that's what we're facing. In that you could come on today, I could come on tomorrow, the day after, you come on every time. We're talking about the same thing. And this is something, I'm saying this because the politicians / elected officials say, oh, they will complain and complain and complain. As long as we receive nothing, whatever, I always say, well, I had all of these things, I've been working on this, I've been working on that want to slip through the crack, whatever. No, you put it on the desk, return receipt requested. That's what they got people working in the office for. Okay? Whether it's the senators or the governor and his administration, that's what they
Did you say put in a request to meet with these individuals?
No. Because meeting can just as well be a waste of time. When I was out on the road as a senator, I always took a staff member with me. Okay? Because I wanted to make sure that while I was getting the substance of what the constituent was interested in, I had someone who could help me to get the information, organize it, and by the time we get back to the office, we got a list of things to do, to add to our list of things to do, and to prioritize to get them done. You follow me? When you meet with people, you have a conversation, and just so the person leaves out feeling good, because I talked to somebody, whether it's the commissioner or whoever, on the road, and then 50 other people come at that commissioner and just saw a gun out the window. When I do communication on behalf of supporting these children, I always tell the organization I work with, I said, look, we want to communicate by way of email and everything else, so we can do a follow-up with respect to so and so. Where do we stand with getting this, that, and that, or what the case may be? Because we operate in a way where we feel because we carry on and complain on the radio, on Facebook, that is going to make a difference. They don't give a rat's patootie, okay, when they leaving to go home to have dinner at their house with their family and children, okay? They ain't taking that with them. And when they come back in the next day, they may have forgotten. Or they may have a staff person that's not as diligent and other things. You know, all kind of things. Let me tell you, Devin, right? I had, as a center, I had somebody who knew me personally, who we worked together and did stuff, write up something and bring it into my office and put it on my, not my desk, but in my office. And somehow it didn't reach to me. You know that person turn around and tell me off how I ask you for help and you help me. But the person, in other words, you have these different tools. You have direct access, you have documented access to writings or whatever else. You have these different tools and you got to use all of them. Because otherwise they just play the, you know, the little thing with 3 shells and they move the shells around. Okay? If talk they're under one shell and written communication, they're under one shell, and all of factual evidence, when they take up a shell, they're going to have something underneath it. Okay? They're going to have something there. But they know how to play that game where if all you did was go and talk to somebody and they move along the shells and say, oh, nothing there. Okay, well, we have to start over. Come in again and let's discuss the problem again and again and again.
We're talking about moving around the shells. I noticed that the administration, i.e. the governor, have been going and all of the radio program them except WSTX, so 970 AM. Why is that?
Well,
is it because that the host at 970 more of, say, willing to hold him accountable?
Well, my personal feeling on that, right? My personal feeling on that, okay? I'll tell you. I invited the governor and he came. I'll invite him again, and I believe he'll come in that context. But you know, we don't like going down the road and the police use pretext stops to pull us over, right? Okay. Well, when you run a talk show, you can't run. You can't. If you're gonna be like a police and do pretext stops, then people gonna avoid you. Okay? Because me, I will invite them and I will even tell them what I want to talk about. Okay? So that we could have, they could come prepared. You understand?
Investigative journalism, asking the tough questions of our so-called elected officials. So that's out the window just because we want them to come and be chummy and nice with us.
No.
Meanwhile, the Nero room is burning and they fiddling.
No. Are you saying that I don't? Are you saying that I don't ask serious and probing questions?
No, I'm saying.
Okay then.
That's why they are
People have. No, I said when I invited them, they came.
Rabot, Brother Mario, Miss Moorhead.
All I gonna say.
Ask pertinent questions.
Okay,
you are like an investigatory arm of the media.
Right.
Where everybody has trained these lollipop, softball, underhand pitch. They ain't want no fastball. They ain't want a curveball. They ain't want a thing.
Okay.
They ain't want nothing tight up under the chin, moving them away from the plate. They want to come up to the plate and just sit down and have a feast.
Well,
but that's not how things work.
I got something from you here today. I gonna quote you. I gonna make a new promo for my show. I gonna make a new promo for my show. I said, come to my show for the Safi underhand pitch. But I'm saying that we got to laugh about it. But I'm saying I invite and they come, right? And no, we don't give out gooseberry. But anyhow, no, I understand where you're coming. I understand what you're saying, but you know, in some cases, some shows is like Fox, and some shows is like CNN, and some shows is like MSNBC. And just the same way, you have some people who go to some and don't go to others. I don't want to belabor that point. I think the important thing is to get the dialogue going. If you can get the dialogue going, and when I say what I want to talk about, it doesn't mean I want to talk about anything else. All right, it's something of substance that I want to get to. I know I only got but so much time, and I want to have these things addressed. If we got time for other things, that's fine, and that's my approach. All right, in that context, and this is what we have to do. Can we address the issues A, B, C, X, Y, Z? But if all you're coming in for is when you answer this question and you jump off into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, the government is supposed to know everything about everything by virtue of the fact that he's in charge of everything. But you know, reality is that they don't work like that. That's why you got the lieutenants. All right, I'm more interested in the lieutenants.
And I read your program that he's more informed, he's more knowledgeable than all of his his cabinet members, all his commissioners.
Okay.
That's why he comes to the top programs instead of having each government entity come with the commissioner and maybe a director of public relations. Is it because he's afraid that they will answer questions that he don't want them to answer? So he now is controlling everything, because Richard Matter is the director of public relations. I haven't heard him come to the public airways. You know the last time I heard Richard Matter? When Avera was trying to get $1 million no bid contract. That's the last time I heard Richard Matter come to the airways to inform the people of the Virgin Islands as the director of public relations for the Brian Roach administration. That goes the same thing for Car Night. You have 773-1404. Let me ask you something. In January and February of 20, I went Government Hill and St. Thomas and I filled out the request to meet with Governor Albert Bryan.
Okay. I got somebody on the other line, so we'll close it
then with this,
okay.
I just to show you how they don't follow protocol and they don't care. No, if I fill out a request in January and February of 20 to meet with Governor Bryan, in June of 20, Avery Lewis, the St. Thomas administration, confirmed to me the transmittal of these documents to Ms. Elizabeth Santana, the governor's secretary. How is it I haven't heard back from the governor, his chief of staff, his public relations, his secretary, anybody from time they got these, and this is stamped and dated. When you go government house, they just stamp and dated, this is when you submitted this document. You mean to tell me from January and February of 20 and up to now I haven't even gotten a response to say, well, Mr. Gwen, sorry, but the governor is too busy. Nothing, huh?
Well, I'm going to tell you, right? I'm going to tell you. They have a system that works to frustrate people like you, and that's clear to me, okay? Because, and whether it's the system operating or the system failing, one thing is clear. It's clear that it's there and frustrating to people like you and other persons who don't get through, and that's something that they need to address. Period. There's nothing justifiable about that. All right. Just like I was saying earlier, and I gotta go to my other caller. That's like I was saying earlier. When I went out on the road, I had somebody.
And so you could go to pick up.
Right. No, I'm saying when I went out on the road,
oh, yeah, go ahead.
I made sure I had somebody with me so I could get all the information. And while we driving to the next assignment, usually I was the one driving. Okay, and they compiling their notes and everything else. And when they get back to the office, they integrate it into what's already there. You have to have a system for response, because the reality is, the higher up you go, the more people you are accountable to. In that context, and you got to have a system. So whatever the case is, their system isn't working for people like you and others, because that type of frustration, it's just like when you're there on hold, you know, they finally put in something that lets you know that we know you're on hold and we come into you. It's like a system that rotates and going to bring back around to somebody. well, they need to work on the system. Anyhow, gotta run.
Anyhow, enjoy the rest of your day.
You do the same. All right, then. Take care. All right, good day. All right, so I'll call on that. I figure. But anyhow, it's getting close to that time, folks. 7 minutes before the hour of 10. All right, and I want to remind you, if you have not done your random act of kindness for today, yesterday, day before, please do some premeditated acts, multiple acts of kindness to make up for the shortfall. Okay? All right? Good thing, good thing. Love's the need of love every day, and we got to do what we can to share the love, folks. Okay? Now, I want to reiterate that getting emotional and getting upset, it might, as long as it is an intermediary step to doing something constructive to address the thing that has you that way. It's just using up your life source form to no end other than your own, okay, your own end. And if you want to end, if you want to carry on, you want to enjoy this life, all I'm going to tell you is that problems is just one of those things that's proof of life. It's going to be there. So if you're going to confront problems, try to figure out a way to do it so that something going to change. All right? I know some folks who have some bad pothole by where part they there, and they have not contacted nobody about them pothole. Okay? They're supposed to just know. So I got to sit down with them and say, well, okay, then we write this up, take some pictures and whatever, share it with the people who's supposed to deal with it, share it to the media, share it with whoever, but make sure that it's going to be a thorn in their side, that they're going to at least patch them temporarily till they do, you know, a better fix on the road. Because folks, for the time you say nothing going to change, for the time you get upset and get mad and storm off or whatever, or call up the talk show and get it all out, you got yourself. They ain't got you. You got yourself in a spot where, for sure, more than likely, unless somebody on their own, because the stars align and something happened, other than that, don't expect anything to change. Your action, your involvement in the community is a big part of it. Okay? I want to commend every organization out there that recognizes that. We got the retirees. You see the retirees having these meetings and they're having people come and make presentations and they're asking questions and everything else. But they're doing it for a reason. Because if they don't have that interaction going, if there's something that is bothering them and they don't say nothing, what's the chances that anything will change? Okay? I mean, it's one thing if the guards stacked against you, but you going to stack them up even more against you? No. All right? So now here, we're talking about the Vitran service. And there's a question is, what is the future of Vitran in the Virgin Islands? What is their perception? You know how they say the youth is the future? The youth is the future? Well, when you look at some of the things that are going on, you have to think that the people who say that must have a very dim version of what the future is for those young people. No. You have to have a vision, a goal, of where you're going and what you're going to achieve toward making it truly a bright future. And in the same way here, the way Jared chronicled how Peter Pan worked before and how it was substantively functional and reliable transportation compared to what is going on now, well, how are we going to turn that around? I don't think it's going to happen by complaining on the radio. You have to figure out action. If you look on the source, I believe it's the source, they got a beautiful overhead picture of this new building that's going to house Vitran down there at Public Works on St. Croix. Looks like it has some nice big buildings for the maintenance of the vehicles and everything else. so they could bring in those buses and put them on a lift and get them up high and walk on them. Okay? So you got a pretty building. Well, I tell you what, I'd rather have a dump of a building and have more buses on the road actually delivering service. Okay? But then why can't we have both? So, and if we can't have both, then how do we go about doing it? Hey, folks. This is where the rubber meet the road. You know, I've been in things where we complain about how trashy some places and we organize a cleanup and then 3 or 5 of us show up. Okay? What you want? It comes down to what you want and what you're willing to do to get it. Alright? A lot of people reflect on Bordeaux them and Queen Mary and them and that's them there. What part you fit in the them there? Okay? You outside the circle? Hey, not about laying down your life, but making sure that your voice is heard in a way that's going to make a difference. Not a complaint that's going to go up in hot ear and dissipate and nothing more happen, okay? It's just about a minute before the hour and our next show is coming on here. Yes, I look up on the wall and I see that clock, and in the court of WSTX, I see that the evidence of time is against me. All right, so folks, until next time, just remember that WSTX is your community-minded station and a place where you can express yourself and hopefully be inspired into action that's going to make this community a better place for everyone. All right, that's what it's about. Not just today, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The ball is in your court, okay? And hey, the other team playing hard. What's your game gonna be? All right? Because that's what it comes down to. Who gonna have the better game? You trying to tell me that they got a better game than you? I don't think so. Okay? I'm here talking not because I could talk. You gotta have faith, and faith with works. Okay? Not the dead kind. Faith with works. All right. Until next time.
Talking. You'll hear all your favorite songs, including calypso, jazz, love song, gospel, and those country legends, giving you more music variety. This is AM 970 WSTX.
Stay tuned to AM 970 between 4:30 and 5:30 on Thursdays for updates and information from the American Federation of Teachers. So grab your pencil and get your notebook. It's class time.
But not only that, St. Croix popular.
Good day, everyone. This is Ray Bradley, full
coming to St. Croix.
in my program, The Children of the Sun,
2 weeks ago, I got
Friday
on
afternoon from 12:30
same thing, Blake, that coming on my side when I fling to the other side of that.
I've seen that lately, yeah.
You see that lately, right?
I've seen people driving and I'm like, but wait. They must be confused. What's going on? There's a car coming at me. What's
streaming
happening?
over the internet
Not only that, but all people that doing stuff in the school. I'm
for
coming
sure.
down the hill for coming down to the light here. Okay? And two cars.
Good day, Virgin
Flame come
Islanders.
up.
This is Dr. Esther
on the
Ellis,
right hand
Territorial
side of me.
Epidemiologist for the U.S.
Okay,
Virgin
again, it
Islands.
leans to go straight
Our
to
Virgin
the
Islands
right.
COVID-19 active case
Do I
numbers
fly up there?
That's why VIDOH urges everyone to get a confirmational test if you've taken a home test. All positive cases identified in confirmation testing qualify you for antiviral medications that can reduce the illness's severity, decrease its duration, and avert hospitalization and death. Testing is free at the following locations: St. Croix, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. in the Charles Harwood Memorial Parking lot. St. Thomas, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. at the Schneider Regional Medical Center loading room, and St. John on Wednesday from noon to 3 p.m. at the Viper Gravel Lot. As we go through this COVID-19 surge, the Department of Health urges everyone to get fully vaccinated, wear a mask in crowds, wash your hands frequently, and register.
Exactly.
Attention! Did you or anyone in your household work at the St. Croix Oil Refinery for Hess Oil Virgin Islands Corporation, also known as HOVIC, at any time from 1965 to 1998? You may have been exposed to asbestos. The Annex bankruptcy may affect your rights. Submit a claim by March 17, 2023 at 5 p.m. Central Time to be eligible for compensation. Visit stcroixclaims.com or call 855-345-6272. Paid for by the Annex Inc. Bankruptcy Estate.
AM 970 WSTX.
See,